Hey, welcome to Fantasy Nuts, where we get nuts over fantasy football and fantasy advice. My name's Luke Evans. This is my first channel, my first video ever. So if you guys enjoy it, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe, I guess. And if you don't, leave a comment below and let me know how bad I am and what I can do to get better. I'm going to be putting out more videos in the future here. Start sit videos, ranking videos. I just have a passion for fantasy football. I'm pretty dang good at it. I believe that I am, at least. I think we all believe in ourselves. But I just have a huge passion for it, a lot of knowledge, and I feel like I could share that with you guys and maybe help some people win their leagues. So, yeah, let's get to it. Talk about some games this week. I want to talk about 3 games of note. All of them one-sided victories. The reason why I want to talk about these ones is because they had fantasy players that did good, bad, on both sides of the ball, on the bad parts and on the good parts. So let's talk about the Bears versus Cleveland. Obviously, Cleveland did all right. Cleveland didn't really need much help. They one-sided victory. They looked pretty good. Not much to say there. Chubb didn't have the greatest day, obviously, but it's nothing to worry about there really. Hunt had a nice night or a nice day. That side of the ball we don't really need to talk about too much. I think it is the Bears side that I wanted to more discuss. Justin Fields did not look all that well. But I don't blame it all on him. I think the game plan was set up wrong. I think that Matt Nagy and that crew could have set him up for success in a lot of different ways, and they just didn't. They called way too many downfield pass plays. They didn't think about how they could use his talents to benefit them. They played him like he was Andy Dalton, and he held the ball way too long, and he couldn't get it out. He could have called screen passes, slant passes, read option plays, and I think they would have been much more successful calling just those 3 plays the entire game. I bet you they would have done way better. But Montgomery didn't have a nice night. Robinson, it affected the whole team because of the way that they called that game. So, Robinson, 3rd week in a row, bad. Time to worry. I own him. Yeah, I'm glad I have some good backups on my bench, but he's been so consistent. I'm not giving up until I see this happen for like the 8th week in a row or something like that. Am I going to give up on Allen Robinson? I gave up on Stephon Diggs a few years ago because of how bad he did through like 4 or 5 weeks and dropped him, and then he ended up winning their league that year. So do not drop Allen Robinson because he's having a bad week or having bad weeks. Anyways, moving on, let's go to the next game. Steelers versus Cincy. Another one-sided victory. The Steelers, Big Ben just doesn't look like Big Ben. Big Ben has no zip on his arm anymore. Big Ben ain't even big anymore almost. This is like he's just fat. And he didn't have any shrug-off ability. He just is slow and sluggish. And he can dump the ball off. We saw that. He tried to do it 19 times to Najee. We'll talk about that later here. He had a hell of a game, but that short passing game is about all he has right now. And I get it. Deontay and Juju got hurt. Deontay's out. So who do you throw to? You still got Claypool. You got Washington. You got other players there. I just don't think he's playing his game anymore, and I don't think he has it anymore. I just don't think he has the arm anymore. I hope I'm wrong because, gosh, obviously I'm a Steelers fan. I hope they can get it turned around. But, man, it was sad to see. The other side of the ball, not much to say. Mixon did well. Burrow did well. Man, Jamar Chase, I was wrong. I thought it was going to be the other rookie wide receivers, Waddle and Smith, that were going to be better. When I saw Jamar in the preseason drop those passes, all blah, 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 it looked like, nope, I don't want anything to do with that, right? But he comes in, now he's just torching people. So, if you have him, I'm sure you're happy. Congratulations. Right on. Good for you guys. Next game here we're going to talk about is the Cowboys versus the Eagles, the Monday night game. Another one-sided victory. Man, the boys' D looks good, right? It's not like fantasy relevant good, but it's like they make plays, right? They make plays. Trayvon Diggs and that linebacking crew, man, they're legit. That's legit. They're a legit team, and I would I'm watching out for the boys this year, man. On the other side of the ball, Zeke looked pretty good. Dak looked like himself. What are you gonna say? Cowboys look good, right? Eagles, not so much on the other side. I mean, their defense didn't actually, at times, it had its flashes, like the secondary, I thought. They kept CeeDee Lamb and Cooper pretty contained that game, fantasy-wise. They did pretty good D on those guys. So, obviously, Schultz had a pretty big day, and Zeke had a big day. But they contained their two biggest threats, I thought, pretty well as far as the Eagles' D is concerned. So, watch out with your receivers playing the Eagles' D. And the same with the Cowboys. I mean, if your wide receivers going against Trayvon Diggs, you should sit him. I think I might sit Tyreek Hill if he's going against Trayvon Diggs right now. I don't want anything to do with him. I don't want those 5 points. I've already seen Tyreek give me 5 points. In fact, Tyreek this last 2 weeks has not given me more than, I think, 16 points combined. So in the last 2 weeks. So, and he's top notch. So think about that. All right. Hurts. I want to talk about Hurts. He looked good, I think. They had a lot of flags. I think people underestimate Hurts. I think, he did not look as bad as what it looked like out on the field. He had over 300 yards passing, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions, but 27 fantasy points and another 30-something on the ground. So, fantasy-wise, he had a great night. I mean, he got me like 26, probably some people 22, 23, 24, 25. That's a great fantasy night, especially for the way that D played against him, and especially for how many flags they had and ineligible receivers downfield calls that they got. I mean, they got 2 of those big plays called back. One of them was just a bucket by Hurts, too. I mean, like, when you see that arm, that's arm talent. And he's running to his right, and he just drops it in that bucket on the sideline. That second touchdown pass he threw, that was money. That was on the money. I mean, that was insane to me. That looked like Patrick Mahomes almost. It was crazy. All right. So next segment we're going to talk about now. We're going to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly, kind of. Like the what ugly players, bad players we saw, and the good players that we saw. So let's go on. Start with Tyson Williams. Now, I have Tyson, so in a league. A couple leagues, I think. So, it stinks because you thought he was going to get more opportunity, I think. I expected him to get more opportunity. It looks like they're rotating those 3 backs, Murray and Freeman, pretty religiously. The percentage split was pretty even. So, in fact, I think they were out there more than Tyson was. He only had 5 attempts, and when you only get that many attempts, you're not gonna do anything with it. You don't have the space to do anything with it. So it's just not gonna work for you. So next player I want to talk about is D Hop. D Hop is the reason I want to talk about him is because I think people might worry that he had a bad game. Nah, don't worry. He's hurt. I sat him. I sat him for that reason. He was coming in with a rib injury. He tried to play. I've seen him try to play injured before. It does not go well. They need to let him rest and get better so he can come out and just be healthy, because when he's healthy, he's the best receiver on the field. And otherwise, if he's going to continue playing hurt, Rondell Moore, Christian Kirk, those are the guys, I think, until I feel, until I would feel healthy with him. I think he's going to be healthy next week. I think it wasn't too big of a deal. Obviously, he played, and he got through it. But, yeah, I think it'll be all right. So, next one I'm going to talk about is Stephon Diggs. And the reason I want to talk about this one is because it was weird. He had 10 targets, 6 receptions, 60 yards receiving, and 12 points fantasy PPR. I just thought, wow, how do you get that many targets and that many receiving yards? It's 10 yards. He is a downhill receiver. He catches those long passes. How did he average 10 yards a pass? Just they held him there. That was Dawson Knox did better. If Emmanuel Sanders did better. I mean, Josh Allen looked like Josh Allen again, just not with Stephon Diggs. And you want to see those guys cohese together. I think that's the point. And I think a lot of people sometimes draft those guys together even so they could see that happen. But that was a kind of a weird week for him. And nothing fantasy relevant. I think there. Like you're not gonna sit him and worry or anything like that. It just was weird. So I wanted to talk about it. The good. Let's talk about the good. Najee Harris. Najee Harris is looking way better these last 2 weeks, especially this week, right? 19 targets, 14 receptions, 104 or something receiving yards, 40 yards on the ground, another 14 attempts on the ground. He is getting the workload. Play him. It stinks that he needs that much workload to maybe get there. And if he doesn't get that much workload, is he going to continue to get those points? And that's tough to say because Deontay will come back, Juju will come back, and the targets will get spread back around. I think that with those two out, they leaned a lot on Najee. I've never seen Tomlin look so flustered a little bit. Not calling his game, in my opinion. Next player we're going to talk about is Tyler Heineke. Man, I think Heineke is the man. I think he's athletic. They said a stat that I heard that he is in the top 5 percentile of most athletic players in the NFL. What? Top 5% of the most athletic players in the NFL. He's a quarterback. Man, that I want that. I want some of that. 27 points last 2 weeks. One of them against Buffalo, which is a great defense. The week prior, week 1, he came in for Fitzpatrick after being hurt against a Chargers D that's stout and threw for like 11 for 15, I believe it was, something like that. So, I mean, he's no scrub. He's accurate. He's athletic. That run touchdown that he had this weekend. Wow. Anyways, all right. Let's next one I'm going to talk about is Peyton Barber because he had a great game, right? He got the carries. Gruden loves him some Peyton Barber apparently. He said it. He said it last week. He's like, I love Peyton Barber. It's like, wow, you really do love Peyton Barber. He really got the work. So, and Kenyon Drake's still looking like the number 2 behind Peyton Barber. So that's the case. I don't know if I'd be so excited to go pick Peyton Barber up because Josh Jacobs is coming back, and it's not like he's going to take Kenyon Drake's role. So, but as long as Jacobs is out, Peyton Barber's a good play. Gruden likes him some Peyton Barber. Play you some Peyton Barber when Josh Jacobs is out. If you got Josh Jacobs, grab Peyton Barber. All right, guys. So the last segment here of my video is going to be a waiver segment. I hope you guys enjoyed what we just talked about. I had fun talking about it with you. I'm looking forward to putting out more videos this week. So I hope to see my fan base grow. I don't even have a fan base, but I hope to see you guys like what I put out. And I hope that you guys are honest with me and leave good feedback for me, please. Thank you. Moving on to this last section. Let's go waiver wires. So running backs, I'm saying go out and get Chuba Hubbard. Grab Chuba. He should be your number one waiver wire pickup if you can grab him. Grab Chuba Hubbard, especially if you need a running back, man. I think McCaffrey's going to be hurt. He's going to be out for a bit, at least this week. I mean, maybe multiple weeks. So go grab Chuba. It's the right play. He's going to be involved in that passing game. He's going to be getting the carries. He's a good running back too. He's decent. He's good. He looks good. So it's a good backup to have. Especially if you're a McCaffrey owner right now, I would go grab him. So he's available in a lot of leagues. So I would go get him. Next one, I think Gio is not a bad one. I think if you need it and you want some depth, I think he could be a good bye week play. Fill in. He's going to be used in the passing game, I think. And I think they're realizing that Ronald Jones is just not going to be a part of the offense. And it's going to be Fournette and Gio. So I think that's not a bad pickup, not a bad – see what happens. You know what I mean? I know you didn't do much week 1 and 2, but, like, had a good week this week. I think that they're going to find his place in that offense. So, and then the last one, again, Peyton Barber. Especially if you're a Josh Jacobs owner. I'd like to have him on my bench if I was a Josh Jacobs owner. Shoot, I own Kenyon Drake because I thought that would be the guy to own. I'm half tempted to go grab Peyton Barber myself. So yeah, I mean I think he's a decent stash for when Jacobs is out, and it seems like Jacobs has been struggling this first couple of weeks. So safe to say he might be viable this year for sure. So next one, we're going to go wide receivers. Mind you, these wide receivers that I'm going to be talking about are mainly ones that I see available in a 12-man format. They're available in a lot of leagues, even deeper than way deeper than 12-man. I play in some competitive leagues, so a lot of the good players are already taken. So I'm going to be talking about some deeper people here. Jacoby Myers. I think he had a good link with Mac Jones this week. I think they looked good. He had the targets to back it up to boot. So I think he's got some competition there with Kendrick Bourne, but I think you're going to be okay going Jacoby Myers. I think Jacoby Myers is going to be the guy over that. Next guy I'm going to talk about is actually a duo at the same team. So we got Hunter Renfrow and Henry Ruggs. Man, Hunter Renfrow is like a Walmart, Wes Welker, Cooper Kupp type player. He's really good. And when I say Walmart, it means that he just doesn't break off as big as those big plays like Cooper Kupp does, you know what I mean? Or Wes Welker used to. But he's used in that same capacity in the middle of the field, and he's a little dynamo, and he just catches the ball every time it gets to him. He's consistent. He gets the targets. He catches it. And if he does rip one to the house, I think you're going to have a good fantasy week because he's averaging about 10 points a week anyways. And you put a touchdown in there, I think you're gonna be happy. And then the next one is Henry Ruggs. And wow, I think I might go get Henry Ruggs because now he's getting the volume. He got 7 targets this week, so he rips one to the house and is getting that many targets, and that's really all he needs. Shoot, he only needs like 1 or 2, 3 passes in a game to rip one to the house and show you he's gonna have a decent fantasy game. I think he's worth it, because he's getting that volume now. So imagine him being able to rip a couple to the house. So, yeah. Next one is going to be Marquez Callaway. I think we can start looking at him again. I think Callaway is a good play. I think that he was being used. He was seeing the targets. The first 2 weeks looked dull, but I don't think we're going to see Jameis Winston spreading that ball too much further outside of Callaway. He's not the best play. I'm not going to say go out and grab him over somebody that did bad this week, like Pascal or something like that. You thought did bad, which he didn't do bad. He still got the. So, next one we're going to talk about is QB Taylor Heineke. Again, I like Heineke. I think Heineke is athletic. He's averaged 27 points the last 2 games. Go out and grab him, put him on your bench, play him with Kirk Cousins, which is another obvious good pickup if he's available. But play him in conjunction with each other. Play those matchup weeks. It's worth it, I think, with Heineke. I think he's going to be fantasy relevant this year. So I think Heineke's a good pickup. Next one, again, is Kirk Cousins. He's available in a lot of leagues. Not all leagues. Not even available in my leagues, but he's available in a lot of leagues still. So Kirk Cousins, if you can go grab him, I think Kirk Cousins, obviously, he's playing lights out. He's throwing it to Jefferson, Thielen. He's got a new target in Conklin. I think you should not be afraid to go out and grab Kirk Cousins. Sam Darnold has been averaging 20-point fantasy game after 20-point fantasy game after 20-point fantasy game. Hey, if you're going to give me 20-point fantasy games, I'll pay you on my bye week for sure. I'll play you on a week that I feel like my quarterback's going to just get demolished because they're playing, that Buffalo D or something. You know what I mean? So, Sam Darnold's pretty good. Good play. A good pickup. Next one's going to be tight ends. We're going to go over tight ends. I got 3 left here. We're going to talk about Tyler Conklin. Cousins. We just talked about how Cousins found his new target in Conklin. Conklin got a ton of targets. He got a touchdown. I think it's worth going out and grabbing Conklin. Go grab yourself some Conk. All right. Next one's Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox looks good. Josh Allen's looking good. He's getting the targets. I mean, he's going to be a good backup tight end if you need it. I think you can play him on bye weeks and even in, when your tight end has a bad matchup. I think you can put somebody like Knox in. Last one that I like personally, a little biased maybe because he's from Steelers, is Pat Freiermuth. I like the Muth, man. The Muth is loose, I think, and I think he's going to I think we're going to see some stuff from him. He didn't have a ton of targets this last week, but when you see him, he kind of flashes off your screen when he makes a play. I feel like, at least. So, watch out for some Muth, man. Go and pick him up. I think you'd be safe to pick him up. Put him on your bench, see how he does. Play him on your bye week, bad matchup week, stuff like that. So, all right, guys, that's it. That concludes my first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking. Leave me comments, thumbs up, all that good stuff if you did like it. And if you didn't, even leave me a comment. Let me know what I could have done better. Again, it's just my first one. I hope to get better and better and progress further and further with my content, with my video editing, everything. So lighting, sound. I hope that I can really master it all eventually and have a good channel to have fun with. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay fantasy nuts. This is Luke Evans signing off. Take care.